Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for another practice. Welcome to another flow in the Mindful Mornings series. So whether you're joining me here in the morning or whether you're joining me at another time of day, this practice is suitable for all levels, and we're going to be looking at a bit of yoga philosophy as we take some sort of gentle movement with lots of options throughout. So of course, as always, you can make it more energizing or less energizing depending on what you're feeling for today. So in this class today, we are going to be moving on to the third niyama. So the niyamas are the internal behaviors that we look at in yoga, and the third niyama is tapas, which translates as self-discipline. The word itself as well also means burning. So looking at this, looking at the meaning behind this, it really translates to, so you could bring this to your practice in a sense of your tapas, your discipline could be your consistency in your practice, which could be your tapas. And you could also look at self-discipline as a form of self-love. So the reason for this is it's that idea of doing things that you may not want to do right in that moment, but you know that your future self is going to thank you for it. So you may not be in the mood, particularly at times, to go to the gym or get on your mat or do that thing that you know is going to make you feel good afterwards, but your tapas, your self-discipline, is going to allow you to do it anyway and then reap the rewards once you've done it. So tapas is also linked to samskaras. Now, samskaras in yoga philosophy are all about patterns. So when we start to do some kind of deep internal reflection, often we can find patterns within ourselves, within our lives, that often don't serve us very well, and can often cause kind of pain, etc. And when we're kind of using tapas, it's that self-discipline that drives us to break some of those samskaras, break those cycles, break those patterns. Into a comfortable seated position, and I want you to close down the eyes or take a steady gaze out in front. And you can rest the hands in the lap. And we're going to take humming breath today. So we'll do 5 breaths. You'll inhale through your nose, and on your exhale, you're going to hum. It doesn't matter how your hum sounds. And humming breath or bee breath, this breath is really, really good for connecting to your vagus nerve. It's good for stress relief. It's good for calming down the body, coming into your rest and digest part of the nervous system. This is a really, really good breath to do. So even if it feels a bit silly or you're not used to it, just giving it a go. So we'll inhale through the nose for 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Hum it out on the exhale. Inhale through the nose, going at your own pace, humming on the exhale. And last one, when you're ready, inhaling and exhaling. Coming back to your natural breathing when you're ready. And I want you to start to open the eyes, just taking a steady gaze. And we'll inhale, reach the hands up to the sky and take your right hand to the left wrist. Lift up and out from the waist and take a stretch over to the right, feeling the left side body opening. Keeping your heart shining towards the ceiling, breathing here. And float back through center, switch it over, so left hand's coming to the right wrists. Inhale, lift up and out from the waist. Exhale, stretching over to the left side, feeling the right side body opening up. Breathing here into that space. And floating back through to center, release the arms down, bring the hands to the thighs or the knees. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, open across the chest. Exhale, drop the chin down towards the chest, draw the belly button in towards the spine. Inhale, lift the gaze, shine the heart forwards, and then start to take some circles, so moving from the waist. And really try and accentuate these movements. So we're keeping the sitting bones nice and grounded, but as you move around in circles, really come forwards, round the spine as you come back. Really feeling into the back of the body, the sides. Start to come back in the opposite direction as well. Checking in with how the spine feels, how the sides of the body are feeling. Noticing what's alive for you. No right or wrong. No need to label or judge anything. Just accept whatever is there. And then coming back to center. We're going to move into a tabletop position on the mat. So shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees. And then start to walk your hands out in front, melting the heart down towards the mat, finding your extended puppy pose. Finding your breath here, releasing tension through the shoulders, the upper back. Inhale, start to lift away from your puppy pose, bringing the hands back in. So hands are underneath the shoulders. Just remembering you can always take cushioning under the knees if you need to when you're in your tabletop position. So from here, we're going to take this right leg out to the side, so opening into the right hip, the inside of the right leg. Now notice how this feels first. You might like to stay here. You could always take your breaths here, so keep listening to your body. And then walking your hands in, seeing if you can come up to a high kneeling position and placing the right hand on the right thigh with the palm facing up. Inhale, sweep your left fingertips up to the sky, lift up and out from the waist first. Start to stretch over to the right, so feeling that stretch into the left side of the body. Right hand sliding down the right thigh. Or you could be staying higher up. Try and send your gaze towards the ceiling. Make sure that you're allowing that prana, that life force energy to flow. Well done. And come back to center. With control, float the hands back down, hands underneath the shoulders. And then we're gonna lift. See if you can hover this right leg away from the mat. If you can't, you're gonna sweep the toes. They can be touching the mat. And we're gonna sweep the leg around and behind. And draw it in. Well done. So coming on to the other side now. Bring the left leg out to the side. Notice how this feels. This might be enough for you. You might want to work here. Next option is walk your hands in. Come up to your high kneeling position. Left hand is on the left thigh, palm facing up. Inhale, reach your right fingertips up to the sky, lift up and out from the waist. Exhale, stretch over to the left side, right side body stretching open. Breathing here. Well done. Floating back to center. Now with control, bring the hands back down to the mat. And then either lifting this left leg away from the mat, or you can keep the toes connected. See if you can slide the leg back slowly with control so that it's out behind. Then bring it back into center. Well done. So from here, we'll tuck the toes under. Exhale, send the hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Or you can take a child's pose if that's what you're feeling for today. So starting to check in with how the backs of the legs are feeling here. Lifting the hips up to the sky. Gaze coming between the knees. And just knowing that showing up for this practice today in itself is a form of tapas. This is a form of self-discipline. Having that discipline to turn up and do something like this for yourself, this practice. Inhale, shift your shoulders forward, so shoulders are coming above the wrist, so we're making our way into a plank position now. And you're going to work through your chaturanga, so you can either inhale into an upward facing dog, or I'm going to do the modified version, so exhale, knees come down to the mat, lower down, inhale, rolling the shoulders back, coming into our cobra, or taking an upward facing dog. Exhale, releasing the chest back down. And on the exhale, hips come to the sky, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Going to inhale, sweep this right foot through between the hands, reach the fingertips up to the sky, find a warrior one or a high lunge. Checking you can see your front big toe, checking your alignment above the ankle. Lifting up and out from the waist on your inhale. And then floating the arms out to the side. Now if this feels too much for you at any point, you can bring the hands back into heart center and work here with these movements. So inhaling here, lengthening the spine. Exhale, see if you can keep the arms out to the side and fold forwards over that front thigh, keeping the spine long. Inhale, coming back up to center, floating the arms up so that they're coming by the ears. Exhale, hands come out to the side, floating the chest down. 2 more. Inhale, reaching the arms back up to the sky, lifting the chest away. And last one, floating forward, sweeping the arms out to the side. Inhale, coming back up, arms reaching up to the sky. Exhale, hands can come through to heart center. Feeling that fire in that front leg potentially now. And we're going to bring some weight into this right leg, so you can always step this back foot in to support you. Bring the weight into your right leg and start to find your warrior three. So back foot is flexed, hips are square. You can reduce the range of movement in your warrior three or use blocks if you need to. Breathing here. If you want to add in some power, you can reach the arms up by the head. Keep pressing back with that left foot. And then from here, keeping a slight bend in that right leg if you need to, we're going to come down and find a half split. So your half split could be hands on the mat here, like so. You could have your hands on blocks, or if you're quite open into the hips, you can open out the hips here, sweeping that left leg up to the sky. Maybe wrapping that right hand around the right leg, but that's just an option. Don't force anything here. Listen to your body. Take what you need. And starting to release from your standing split, bring the hands down to the mat, step both feet back and work through your vinyasa. So you're either going to inhale through to a cobra or an upward facing dog. And then exhale back to your downward facing dog. Press the mat away with your hands, lifting the hips to the sky. You can start to take a little pedal out through the feet here if that feels good too. Just breathing into the backs of the legs. Inhale, sweep the left foot through between the hands this time. Reach the fingertips up to the sky, find a high lunge or your warrior one. And we're going to start to take these floats. So inhale, lift up and out from the waist. Exhale, arms come out to the side, float forwards. Again, if you need to keep the hands in prayer position, you can. So inhale, reach the arms back up to the sky. Come up, coming back up. Exhale, we're floating down. Inhale, lifting, lengthening. Arms coming back up by the ears. Last one. Exhale, floating down. Arms come out to the side. Inhale, come back up to center. Step that back foot in to support you. Hands can come to heart center. Bring the weight into the left foot. Find your warrior three. So again, you could be higher up in your warrior three. You could be up here, tapping those toes away. You can be lower down. You could have hands on blocks. Squaring off the hips. Keep the back leg really active. Breathing. Imagine the back foot pressing into something. Well done. And then seeing if you can float the hands down to the mat or keeping them on blocks, you're going to find a split position, standing split. So you can either have the hips square and have that right leg reaching out behind, or if you're open through the hips and you want to open up the hips here, you can. So reaching that right leg as far up to the sky as you can, maybe wrapping the left hand around the left leg. See what feels right for you. Breathing here. Well done. So we're going to bring that back leg down, and I want you to slowly come up and meet in a standing position on your mat. And here we're going to step our feet slightly further than hip width apart, with the toes pointing out to the side, hands coming through to heart center. Inhale, reach the crown of the head to the ceiling. Exhale, bend through the legs. And we're lowering down to our Malasana squat. So if you need blocks under the hips, under the heels, take the modifications that you need here. Hands at heart center, elbows gently pressing into the legs gently pressing back into the elbows. Keep the space across the chest. Finding your breath in the pose. Noticing what your breath could be communicating to you today. Maybe noticing what your body's communicating to you today. And just honoring whatever comes up. And then starting to bring the hips down to the mat. Keeping your legs stepped out, so slightly further than hip width apart. We're going to come to our upright happy baby pose. I'm sure there's probably another word for this pose, but this is the best way to explain what we're doing. So we'll do half and half first, and then you can have a go at doing both sides together. So on one side, you're either bringing your hand to the back of the thigh, the calf, or the foot. And so give that a go now on the right side, see how that feels. And what I want you to do is, whilst you're doing that, really draw the belly button in and reach the crown of the head to the ceiling. So we're really strong through our core, connecting to Manipura, our third chakra, which is in the solar plexus area. And this is all about connecting to the fire element, our personal sense of power, which is very deeply connected to tapas, our self-discipline. The more sense of personal power that we have, the more self-discipline we're also likely to have within ourselves. So doing that, releasing the right leg, have a go just on the left side now. So hand could be on the back of the thigh, the calf, or the foot, and then making sure that you're keeping space across the chest. So we're not sinking into the spine here. We're really using our core and staying strong. We're going to be working with some balance. So seeing how that feels, draw the belly button in, release that leg now. Now we're going to have a go at both, just making sure that you've got somewhere to roll back onto if you need to. So taking both legs into this upright happy baby. Finding a drishti or a focus point here as well could be very, very helpful. Breathing here. If you want to add in a little more, you can lengthen through the legs. Maybe lengthen through one leg, then the other leg, playing with some balance. Nice. Breathing, always remember to breathe. Beautiful. And release the legs, bring them back into a comfortable seated position. And finish off the practice, closing back down the eyes or taking the gaze out in front. And you can bring the hands to the knees or the thighs, palms facing down. And take some slow and soft breaths here. Relax the neck and the shoulders. Imagine your shoulder blades running down your back. Notice which parts of your body are connected to the ground and which parts are not. And coming back to our Niyama Tapas today, perhaps just thinking about what part of this Niyama might resonate for you, in any way that you could take this Niyama into your day with you. Opening the eyes back up when you're ready, just taking a steady gaze out in front. Thank you so much for being here and joining me for these practices. Please do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And do comment and feedback to me on how you're getting on. I always love hearing from you, from those of you doing these flows with me. And I will be back with some more flows very, very soon. If you want to see the other things that I offer, just check out in the description below links to my on-demand yoga membership, online retreats. And yes, thank you for being here, and I can't wait to see you again very soon. Take care, bye-bye.